All right, thank you everyone for joining us. So first, I want to remind everybody to please turn off your cell phones during news conferences, and flash photography is not permitted. Welcome to Kansas's press conference. Kansas's sports information contact is Doug Self. Joining us on the podium are head coach Brandon Schneider and student athletes Zakiah Franklin and Chandler Prater. We'll start with questions for Coach Schneider. As a reminder, please state your name and affiliation at the beginning of your question, and please limit yourself to at most one follow-up question. Yeah. You can ask.
Yeah, John Reed from Atlanta Journal-Constitution for the coach. Have you ever faced Nell Fortner before as a coach?
Not as a coach. I have not.
David Lawrence, Kansas. Coach, anything about Georgia Tech? Is there a team in the Big 12 that you liken them to as far as what they present and challenges?
Probably Kansas. I think the two teams are very similar in that we're both statistically very balanced. They have 4 players averaging double figures and a fifth very close to it. They've got good interior play. Guard play is very good. I think just a very balanced team, and team with an international flavor, obviously, similar to ours. And, really good team size.
Yeah, they have the 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, and they kind of hang their head on defense. What do you think about Kubaj as a whole? I mean, on both ends.
Terrific player, double machine, very skilled, can obviously is terrific around the basket, but can stretch her game out on the perimeter as well. I'm very impressed with her as a passer. Does a great job of creating for her teammates. And then, statistically, obviously an elite defender.
And Coach, Tyanna Jackson could be an elite rim protector in the country and be one of the biggest difference makers in the game. Just talk about, aside from avoiding fouls, what she needs to do to really impact this tournament.
I think Tyanna's participation in minutes played is been a direct reflection of our success. On nights where, she plays around 20 minutes, we've struggled. We've got to get her, 28 to 30 minutes. I think that's very important. Our entire defensive, scheme is centered around, her being able to protect the paint, protect the rim.
One of the players, is it Chandler?
Yes.
Give me a general statement on your seed, and were you happy to be the 8th seed or surprised or whatever?
Me personally, I'm grateful to be here. It's always been a goal for our team to make it to the NCAA tournament and go as far as we can. So, for me, the seeding doesn't matter. And we just want to win as many games as possible and compete.
Sorry, just 2 quick reminders. One, we're going to just keep with questions for Coach right now. When we finish with Coach, we'll move on to the student athletes. Also, if you're joining us on the Zoom call and you do have a question, please raise your hand, and I'll call on you at a moment for that. And I'll allow you to unmute yourself. We have a question for Coach from up here. Coach, you played against 3 top 10 teams and 4 top 20 teams to close out the regular season. How important was that stretch for preparing your team for the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I think we had probably the most difficult schedule down the stretch in the country. We didn't have as much success as we would have liked, obviously in 3 of those games, but I felt like even in losses to Iowa State and Baylor and Texas, our team still got a lot better and continued to improve. And I don't think we came away from those matchups any less confident. In fact, maybe more confident in what we feel like we could do given the opportunity to play in the tournament.
Another question for up here. We're joined by Zakiah and Chandler. What do they bring to your team?
You know, leadership, I think consistent performance. You know, Zakiah leads our team in minutes and has played a lot of games in a Kansas uniform and has continued to just get better and better each and every year. I think she's a very calming presence on the floor for us. Her poise and her composure with which she plays is I think, one of her greatest attributes. Chandler is very capable of being probably a starter for us, but has really relished the role of coming off the bench and being a spark. Provides us with great energy, and we rely on her heavily to oftentimes defend the best perimeter player on the opposing team.
And then one last question from up here is, what does it mean to be back in the NCAA tournament to your program for the first time since 2013?
I think it's a tremendous accomplishment for our young women. You know, it's the process of building the program to this point has been slower than maybe we would have liked, but we tried to stay really true to our values and to the pillars of our program in hopes that if we did it the right way, we could build something that was sustainable.
John Reed, AJC. One thing I noticed is that you've gone to the line a fair amount this year, and they haven't. You think this game could come down how the game's officiated and who gets the free throw line more and makes those free throws?
You know, I think for us, that's a stat that is important to our success. We talk a lot about going into each and every game, trying to win the battle of the free throw line, not only to promote aggression on the offensive end, but also discipline on the defensive end in terms of playing without fouling.
Any more questions for Coach Snyder?
Looks like we did touch on their defense. Is that the key to the game, or today? Excuse me, tomorrow? How you handle their defensive pressure?
You know, I think I don't know that it matters who the opponents are. My question, or my answer to that question, is typically going to come down to defense and rebounding wins most games. And I know that they're an elite defensive team, so you know, our execution and our ability to create and make open shots will be really important.
Any more questions for Coach? If not, we'll move on to questions for our student athletes, Zakiah Franklin and Chandler Prater.
Question for both of the ladies. Just talk about the journey. You know, this is a big deal being here, but from where you were a couple of years ago, it must have seemed like a kind of a sky dream out there. But just talk about where you were a couple of years ago, the frustration, and did you dream this would happen? Both of you.
Honestly, just like Coach said, a couple years ago, we bought into, you know, the system and our pillars, and we just stayed true to that. And to be here now, it's like, it's a great feeling, and we're just thankful to be here.
Yeah, I think both me and Zakiah knew committing to Kansas that we had a lot of work to do, and we both obviously saw a vision for this team, and it's just exciting to see it all play out.
Question for the student athletes, the same question that we had for Coach earlier. You played against 3 top 10 teams and 4 top 20 teams to close out the regular season. What did that do to help you prepare for the NCAA tournament?
It helped us a lot. Honestly, built our confidence. Like those games that we played down the stretch, like going against Baylor and Texas, we were, you know, right there in those moments. We very felt like that we were capable of beating them, and that just gave us the confidence that we needed down the stretch, and especially in the tournament right now.
Yeah, like Zakiah said, we've been building our confidence and knowing that going into every game, no matter what our opponent is, we're pretty fearless and knowing that we're together and game by game, play by play, we don't matter who it is, we're competitive and we're ready to compete against whoever.
Ladies, to kind of piggyback what I asked Coach, keeping Twin on the court, Tyanna Jackson, on the court and being that positivity that she can present and the problems she causes for opponents. Just talk about that and what it means to you guys as far as having that rim protector behind you.
Yeah, Twin is a great presence, and not only is she huge on the defensive end, but she's a great teammate as well. And like, she's one of the first people to stand up and clap for you, even if she isn't on the court. And she's always one of the first people to pick people up. And she's just a great teammate and a great person to play with. So we're really grateful to have her on the court as much as possible.
Definitely what Chandler said. She's just a great overall teammate, and it's no surprise to the success she's having this season. Her presence in the paint is huge for us, and we just want her on the floor as long as possible to help our success.
Your coach was named Big 12 Coach of the Year this year. What's it like been for you two to be playing for him as a team this season?
We are so proud to have Brandon as a coach, and we all committed here, and we committed to playing for him each and every game. So him getting that recognition is just huge, and we all feel that it's well-deserved.
Yeah, to play for Coach Brandon is honestly extremely fun, and the success that he has had this season and receiving the Coach of the Year in the Big 12, it just speaks to overall just his success as a coach, and like Chandler said, what we bought into when we decided to come here to Kansas.
Zakai, I kind of asked you this back in Lawrence, but again, at times this year, you've been unstoppable in taking your guy off the bounce, reversing directions and whatnot. You know, just what situations do you look for in being able to take that? Because it certainly means a lot to us when you're able to do that.
Just trying to stay aggressive, and like Coach said, we really pride ourselves on our toughness stats, and free throws is one of those. And just being able to know that if I can get by my defender or, be aggressive and draw the contact and get to the line, that's just doing something that's going to help our entire team.
And then one last question from up here. What's jumped out at you from your scouting of Georgia Tech?
Like Brandon said earlier, they are a lot similar to us. And for me personally, I'm excited to guard a lot of their players. They have another player from Kansas City who I played against before, and it's obviously fun to see people representing KC and Kansas. So I'm just excited to guard against their really good players and, play defense like we usually do.
Any other questions for the student athletes? A recording of this press conference will be available in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at www.ncaa.veritone.com. Transcripts are provided by ASAP and will be posted shortly. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.